Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 2nd, 2023 City of Fraser Planning Commission meeting. I'm going to ask everyone to please turn off their cell phones so we don't disrupt the meeting, and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda item 2 is the roll call. Ms. Warren, are you doing the roll call?
Yes, I'll do it tonight. All right. Commissioner Barr?
Here.
Chair Zarnicki? I should have went down the line. Chair Zarnicki?
Present, yes.
Commissioner Farina?
Here.
Commissioner Meyer?
Here.
Commissioner Perry?
Here.
Commissioner Kyle? And then Commissioner Warnick.
Here.
We have one commissioner absent this evening. I'll entertain a motion to excuse Commissioner Kyle,
I
please.
move that Commissioner Kyle is on vacation, be excused.
And I'll support.
Okay, it's moved by Commissioner Farina and support by Commissioner Warnick to excuse Commissioner Kyle. All those, would you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Barr?
Yes.
Chair Zarnicki?
Yes.
Commissioner Farina?
Yes.
Commissioner Perry? I'm sorry, Meyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Perry?
Yep.
And Commissioner Warnick.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Agenda item 3 is the approval of the agenda as posted. Is there any discussion of the agenda? Commissioner Meyer?
The first item is on page 1. It states, "A regular meeting of the City of Fraser Planning Commission was held on Wednesday, February the 1st." That should be changed to...
Commissioner Meyer, I'm going to interrupt you. We're doing the agenda,
I'm
not the
sorry.
minutes.
I'm
That's
sorry.
okay.
So sorry.
Any
So sorry.
discussion on the agenda? It's no problem.
Sorry. I got ahead of myself.
That's okay, yes. If there's no discussion, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
Move to approve.
And
Second.
support? Okay, it's been moved by Commissioner Farina and support by Commissioner Perry to approve the agenda as published. Would you do a roll call, please?
Commissioner Barr?
Yes.
Chair Zarnicki?
Yes.
Commissioner Farina?
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer?
Yes.
Commissioner Perry?
Yep.
Commissioner Warnick?
Motion carries. Agenda item 4 is the chairperson's opening remarks. Tonight's meeting will follow the agenda that was posted online and has been printed for you here and is available at the entrance to the room. It's important to let everyone know that the Planning Commission is created by state law. The commission is comprised of 7 members, all of whom have volunteered to serve. Members are appointed by the mayor and confirmed by City Council. The role of the Planning Commission is to plan and promote the efficient, coordinated development of the city for the health, safety, and general welfare of its residents. We are not here to negotiate with applicants or allow everything an applicant is requesting. However, the Planning Commission does have the power to approve certain requests and recommend others, depending on the nature of the request and whether all of the standards in the zoning ordinance have been met. The Planning Commission may also impose conditions on a proposed project in order to ensure that those standards are met. Other individuals seated here this evening are the city's legal representative from O'Reilly, Rancilio, PC, Haley Thomas, the city's planners from McKenna and Associates, Alicia Warren and Lauren Sayre. Welcome, Lauren. Tonight we do have one public hearing on the agenda, so I'll read the procedure for public hearings. The procedure followed by the Planning Commission for public hearings first involves the city planner providing an overview of each case. After the overview is completed, the applicant will be asked to provide additional information and answer any questions the commission members may have. After the commission's questions, the public will be invited to speak. Each person will have one opportunity to speak, must only speak directly to that specific case, and must only address the commission, not the applicant or anyone else in attendance. If you have questions, please direct them to the commission, and we may ask for answers to your questions if they are relevant to the factors we are required to consider. After the public hearing has had an opportunity to speak, the commission members may ask questions again of the applicant, and then the commission will consider the motion, a motion. Agenda item 5 is approval of the minutes, July 17, 2023. Commissioner Meyer.
Okay. The first item is on page 1. The regular meeting of the City of Fraser Planning Commission was held on It says Wednesday, February 1st. It should say Monday, July 17th at 7 p.m. That's the first item. The second item is on page 2, under 6, new business. There's a motion by Perry, seconded by Farina, to forward the 2022 Fraser Annual Planning Report to City Council with revisions from the Planning Commission. That paragraph should be omitted. And then item number 3, which is page 3, item number 10, Commissioner Meyer had no comment. I actually asked 2 questions. The first was regarding the building that was east of the railroad tracks on 13 Mile. And I asked if there was a report on that particular property because they were doing work there, and no report was given. The second comment I asked for was regarding a report on the Dairy Queen. And Ms. Warren said that Andrew had met with the owner of the Dairy Queen, and that she thought that the owner wouldn't be coming back before the Planning Commission again. The next item, which is item number 4, it's the fourth thing that we need to bring up is on the third page, under item number 10, it says, Commissioner Warnick asked, it should say City Council. There needs to be a Y next to the T. And that's all that I have.
Commissioner Warnick's statement should say city attorney.
Yes, yes.
The city attorney. There was a misspelling there.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner Meyer. Any other discussion on the minutes?
Move to accept the minutes as amended.
All those, I need a support for that motion.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by Commissioner Farina and support by Commissioner Perry to approve the July 17, 2023 minutes as revised. I'm going to ask Ms. Warren, did you get the revisions?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Would you do a roll call, please?
Yes, of course. Commissioner Barr,
Agree.
Chair Zarnicki,
Yes.
Commissioner Farina,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Commissioner Warnick.
Yes.
Motion carries. We're on agenda item 6, new business, public notices, special land use 23-01, 31,000 Grossback Auto Repair Shop, special land use request in CG District. Commissioner, I'm not Commissioner, but going to be Ms. Sear doing the report.
Thank you, Chair Zarnicki. So this is a special land use request for Compass Auto Glass, and they are proposing to open an auto service center in the CG General Business District. The applicant proposes to add 2 bay doors to the front of the existing structure and indicated that all auto servicing will be done within the building. They submitted a sketch plan, additionally an overhead, the door plan, as well as a site survey. Regarding the location and character and its harmony with the surrounding development, we don't find any concerns. There are several other auto businesses located in the vicinity, and it's also located along 2 major thoroughfares. In terms of vehicular and pedestrian traffic, we also do not anticipate any negative impacts from this use at this location. Regarding possible nuisance, due to the fact that they will be holding their operations within the building, we also have no concerns regarding that. Regarding the location, the height of the structure in the building, since they're using the existing structure with of just a few alterations to the exterior, we had no concerns. Regarding the physical and economic aspect and the harmoniousness of this use, again, we find that this use will be harmonious in this location, as there are several other auto services, shops, and auto-related businesses in close proximity. Regarding if the proposed use is necessary for the public convenience at the proposed location, we did not find anything that would indicate that it'd be detrimental. Regarding the proposed use, how where it's located and planned to be operated in terms of the impact on public health, safety, and welfare, we also believe that there will be no adverse impacts. And regarding injury to the value of the property, we do not find that there would be any substantial injury to the value of adjacent properties. Site plans are a requirement for special land uses. They must submit a site plan. It's a bit of a unique case because, again, they're using this existing structure that's already there. So we leave it to the Planning Commission to decide if the submitted sketch plan and overhead door detailing meets this requirement. But otherwise, we would recommend conditional approval, conditional upon an approved site plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sayre. When you say your recommendation is approval contingent on the approved site plan, should the applicant give us a site plan after tonight's meeting? Would that be applicable to this approval?
Yes, I believe so, unless the Planning Commission finds that it would be satisfactory since they're using the existing structure to forego a complete site plan.
Is this a non-conforming property? Building, do you know? Or can you advise me, I should say?
I don't believe so.
It's legally conforming?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Who do I have? Commissioner Warnick.
Well, it's not legally conforming. I mean, the building goes against the existing property lines. There's no setbacks at all. So it's pre-existing non-conforming, but, so that's a big issue, I think. It's been there for a long time that way. Do we comment on this, or do we wait till the
We have
petitioner?
We're going.
These are questions only for her.
Questions for the administration,
Okay.
yes.
So my big concern is that I guess I'm just used to the practices before, that we would have gotten a copy with the petitioner's answers to the 8 standards. So each individual, instead of you just now going through, we have no idea to kind of develop or make our decision, because our decision is based on them meeting all 8 standards. If they meet all 8 standards, we as a board can approve them, but we had nothing to review, so all we got is the basic 8 standards that are out of the ordinance book. So without anybody's submittal of answers to those 8 standards. So I think all the members on the board we haven't had any probably in the last couple of years, special land uses, but I know we've had a lot in the past that, and really without that, it doesn't give us the beef that we need to make our decision. So I don't know how we handle that. I mean, we can wait till the petitioner's up and then kind of review.
And we do have other comments from other commissioners. I apologize, Commissioner Farina.
Yes, I don't see any green, anything on this plan. Are they proposing to put any shrubbery there? Did you look at that?
We have not received any landscape plan. We haven't received a full plan, site plan to determine that.
Okay.
Any other comments? I agree with Commissioner Warnick. I mean, we have the site survey off the computer, which is very hard to just see. I haven't tried to, well, I mean, I go on the computer and look, but I visited the site. I'm confused. So why we didn't ask the applicant to have a site plan submitted to us? Because to me, all the things we look for, I agree they meet all the standards, the special land use standards. In my opinion, they meet the 8 standards. But we have parking requirements and handicap parking spaces to, figure out, and striping, and Commissioner Farina mentioned landscaping, dumpster, stormwater management.
Parking.
Yeah, parking, that's what I say, so. Those are my thoughts on the item. Go ahead, Commissioner Farina. I'm ready. If there's no other discussion, we'll ask the applicant to come forward, please. I misunderstood. Okay.
Hi.
Would you introduce yourselves, please, and tell us how you relate to the special land use?
So yeah, my name is Ramon Coriel. So I'm the owner and the operator of the business.
Okay,
And right now I'm just doing mobile service. So right now, and I find the property and I thought I can open it as a shop. And
Mr. Coriel, is that your name? Did you buy the property? I'm sorry, say it again.
Ramon Coriel.
Ramon's your first name. I'm trying to do the last name, sir. Ramon's easier. If you don't mind, I'll call you Ramon. Okay, and are you Randa Odisa? Okay. Did you buy the building? Because I saw signs for lease. Did you buy or are you leasing?
We were gonna buy it. We're still working on the loan.
Yep.
Okay,
So we're applying for a SBA. I'm his, by the way, my name is Randa Audish, I'm his wife. Yeah, so we're applying for a SBA small business loan. He has been in auto class business for 15 years, used to work with Safely.
Can you turn the,
Mike, turn the mic.
to you.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can hear you.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
so my name is Randa Audish, I'm his wife. My husband has been in this business for 15 years. He worked for Safely Auto Glass, and then he started to do mobile services, and the business was doing good. We found this building, so we want to do start taking people by appointments instead of mobile business. And I'm going to be with him supporting. I'm an engineer. I work full time. I'm here to help him, and we can answer any questions you have.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We have Commissioner,
That's me.
yes, go ahead.
Couple things. For one thing, you could lease it. I mean, it's not like you have to do one or the other. So you don't need the approval of your loan to buy it to start the business. So we're happy to see businesses start up in Fraser.
Correct.
Especially one that's been vacant for as long as that one has. And the history on this, I'm going to give a brief history because you don't know the history, so hopefully this will help you. I've been in the city for over 60 years, so it's kind of, I know that corner really good, and it was called Zatco Tires for 25 to 30 years, somewhere around there, and then it was a Bell Tire. Those two doors you're putting in were there, so they are already framed for that. In the past 10 years, when things changed, we had somebody come forward and, well, when the present owner, Basil, he started AT&T mobile showroom there. And he closed up those two. So he came for site plan approval, everything was approved. And that's when, before, the previous use was actually a tire change center. So it previously was already it was approved back then. But as it changed to what it's zoned, commercial general, and that changed to AT&T from that auto repair center, which was pre-existing, to a commercial general. That's why you're here, is because to change it back, it needs special land use approval, because it's in our zoning text that it can be an auto repair center by going through special land use approval. So this formality that we're going through is because we just need to make sure you meet those 8 standards to change this into what you want. So it's a windshield repair facility, right? and you'll do the business inside. You'll do all the changing inside. Yeah, because there is nothing outside. There's no, if you look at the lot lines, and you gave us a good, at least the plan, or the site plan that shows the property lines, you actually have no greenery on your property lines.
Yeah.
Everything for landscaping that's greenery now is actually owned by the state for the state highway. M97 is, Groesbeck is a state highway, and 13 Mile is a county road. So they own that parcel where the greenery is. And we like to see, we're not used to this submittal. We usually see a submittal that has a site plan showing all the striped parking, showing the dumpster location, showing the greenery, the landscaping, and everything like that. So what you came to us with is really just a basic plan of what's there right now.
That's
We-
why I mentioned, there will be no dumpster. We're not gonna need any dumpster outside.
Okay,
Because
so
usually-
how do you handle that when you're a windshield repair, so no matter what, they pull in, you pull out the old windshield, you put a new one in.
Yes.
So where does that old windshield go?
The old one will stay inside the shop. We have about like twice a week. The company comes and pick up the broken glass and.
Good,
You know, the same guys that do delivery from the warehouse.
yep.
And
So the site will stay cleaner looking outside without a dumpster. There's really no location for one, that's why I'm saying it. It's kind of tough. We need to approve that. It's not something, because it's required by ordinance. We can, in this site plan approval, at least approve no dumpster. So that's up to this board. So that's something that, if it was a perfect world, if you did everything like you probably should have, you would have said that to us ahead of time, but you probably didn't know. You don't know all the things. You probably needed to sit this one through with either the planner or the building official and go through all this stuff of what's required. And I think that we would have been on everybody would have known what's going on. So all these questions are in every one of us head, is how can we approach this with just what you show us? The fact that it is all pre-existing and there's no setback on the east side, there's no setback on the south side, and our biggest thing is how you're going to park people in there. So we really need to see what you can squeeze in, because there's a certain parking requirement too that should have been all figured. We don't calculate all this stuff. It's supposed to be given to us so that we have something to approve or deny. So without that, it just makes it tougher for us. We want to see your business. We want to see it go, and I think you've got,
I've already have a couple auto sale shops. There's like a few blocks away from there that
Yeah.
I do their business.
it's a perfect location. Don't get me wrong, because I grew up here, and that's what it always was. And it worked great for the highway being there and everything. This whole connotation of commercial general is what the zoning district is. You'd almost think this shouldn't be commercial general, the way it should be allowable for your thing. So, but we're going through the right process to give you that approval. So this is the right way. I just don't know if we have enough information as a board to just say flat out, yeah, it's okay for you to do. We need to see how the parking's going to be, things like that.
We need the site plan, because it's a contract between you and the city, so we need to have a contract saying this is what you're going to put in there.
As far as the parking lot and
Basically, that just to meet the requirements that are on for a site plan.
Right, and our planners can help you with the requirements,
Yeah.
and you'll have to hire an engineer to do the application site plan. Commissioner Farina?
Did you get, in the back of our package, there's a list of what needs to be there.
yeah, I don't have that.
You have that?
I
No, we
don't.
were not provided with this package when we,
See, Alicia, I'm sure you're one of those.
I have a copy right here. Yeah, I have a copy right here, if you want to pick it up. Yeah,
So everything will be by appointment, pretty much, like, it's not gonna be cars always there, so everything will be up by appointment.
Yeah,
Well, they're
because
gonna-
go ahead,
Are there going to be cars staying over?
pull your microphone. Go closer.
I don't know if he meant you or them.
Are there going to be cars that stay overnight?
No,
Ramon, move the mic closer to your mouth. There you go.
There we go.
Okay. I see that you have 6 seats in your office, plus somebody at the desk. That's 7. And somebody working in the bay, is that just you, or is there going to be some?
it'll be me, yeah.
Okay, so that's 8. So you have potential of 8 people in different cars there at one time. Or you could have, 2 cars in the bay and 8 people, somebody picking this person up because they can't wait for their car.
No, the seats are, if like 3 people comes in one car, you know what I mean? Like 3, 4 people comes in one car.
That's not what we can
I
look
mean,
at.
yeah.
But if you look at the requirements, you can look at that, and if you get it, whoever you get to draw up your site plan will look at the requirements that, from the City of Fraser, and then we'll go from there. My contention about greenery is, I was at the site, I know there's no place, but there are places where you could put a planter outside, a bigger planter, to soften the front of your building to make it more compatible. Definitely, I think you're going to have a handicap spot. And on the inside, you're probably going to have Americans with Disability bathroom that has to be in there.
There one existing there.
Okay. Okay, good.
Okay. Architecture or something else. I know you said you would match the coloring, but that needs to be shown on the site plan also.
Sorry. Can you repeat that one more time?
Architecture is one of the requirements for the site plan, and I know that you mentioned that the color scheme would remain the same, but that needs to be shown on the site plan when you come back and submit a site plan for us.
God bless you.
Okay. Do you have any questions? We're going to ask you to come back with a site plan so we can stamp it, say approval, but tonight we'll open up the public hearing because it's been published, and we'll listen to any comments, and then we'll go forward with the motion after that. Okay? All right, you can go back and sit. You will open up the public hearing for special land use 23-01, 31,000 gross spec, auto repair shop. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak? Acknowledging there is no one, let the minutes reflect no one was at the public hearing, and I will close the public hearing. Any discussion among us, our members? I mean, I think
We obviously have to postpone,
we don't postpone it. We're going to ask
But-
them to come back.
but we have to postpone to a date. And I don't know how long it's going to take them to get somebody to draw up the plans and get their stuff done. Do you have any ideas about that? You see, we want to get it through as fast as we can for you, because I know you want to go make money.
The next meeting is going to be, September, what is the date? September
After Labor Day. I think.
6th,
it is
Yeah.
September 6th.
6th, September 6th. If you think you can get an engineer or architect to do a drawing by that time, do you think? Okay. No, come forward to the mic then. Thank you. I apologize for sending you back there.
So what exactly the site plan should show? Just we need to show like the parking lot with a handicap parking space and also all the landscaping around the building?
Yes, although there
Okay.
isn't landscaping, but everything that, I think the list that I gave you will show you or tell you what you have.
Okay,
Our city planner certainly will work with you also on that,
okay,
okay?
okay.
So, yeah, I'm not sure about storm,
You have to show the architectural elevations of the building.
right.
Front of the building, what's
Like what's right there.
it made out of,
Okay,
I mean, it's,
Dumpster, you're going to designate there's no dumpster,
yeah.
but it needs to be
right.
listed on the plan itself, no dumpster,
Okay, Okay.
All right.
And you could put see comments or something and just put a little thing of how you do your removal.
Okay.
So that gives
Glass.
us a why we can approve it without a dumpster.
Okay.
And the only reason we can do it is because you have a system
Okay.
that is approvable. So, and then there's just those things. There's in our zoning text, we say for auto repair services, how the parking has to be. It's 3 spaces for each bay, 1 space per employee, and 1 per 100 square feet of retail area. So it's those kind of things you'll go over with the planning department and organize all the components that we need to see. It's pretty basic. You've got a front like that, and if you need to point to anything and say, this is EFS or whatever on the front or whatever, you got a great start with everything you have so far. It's just the additional things we need on that site plan.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
And if it meets and we're good with everything, the only thing that would delay that is if we had to get a variance because you're asking for something different. So we want to, that's why the planning department's there, is to help you achieve maybe, and sitting down with them, you'll be able to go through this. And there won't be any.
It'll be fairly easy.
It'll be easy.
Okay. No problem.
We want to see you get going.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Ms. Warren, because there's no place to put landscaping, we're again at a plan that I don't understand. To me, Planning Commission, or I should say Ms. Sarah too, Planning Commission has the authority to waive the landscaping. So I'm not sure why we're under discussion of sending a plan like this to the ZBA. If you can clarify that, not for me tonight, but at least clarify it for this
Yeah, that's been an open question, I know, the past
Right.
couple meetings. I'll try to get better clarification on that.
Okay, thank you.
I thought that's what we got last month from Clark.
It was Mr. Denault, but he said he was going to check into it a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
It still wasn't,
Clark's,
Here.
yeah, okay.
Did you get his, I'm sorry, did you get his supplemental memo?
Yeah, that was the one I'm talking about.
Okay,
Clark addressed it in that we can do that because of the situations like the Dairy Queen we were talking about. There's nowhere to put anything.
so he addressed it specifically regarding the Dairy Queen site, because I know that was of concern. You got that memo, correct? Okay, okay. So yes.
He basically went through all the requirements, which really didn't answer my question, I guess.
So, and Mr. Andrews, his analysis was that there's a provision in the zoning ordinance that says that the planning commission has authority to substitute constructed materials on the property. So I think there was a question, at least from my conversations with him, about putting planters on the property rather than actual landscaping.
Right.
And his interpretation of that was, yes, that the planning commission could approve something of that nature to replace the typical landscaping requirements.
Okay, and the ZBA has nothing to do with the application itself?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, that is my understanding.
Thank you, Mr. Thomas. Yes. All right, if no further
If I can add one more
Sure,
thing.
go ahead.
Just remember, there's no outdoor storage allowed. And that's where, and you need to know that ahead of time. So, because we'll make that's part of what we approve. Because all of a sudden, you might get approved, and all of a sudden, 6 months from now, we start seeing things outside, like windshields sitting outside, and then code enforcement gets involved, and you're not abiding by what you got approved for. So I just want to put that out in front right now so that you could even put a note on that plan, no outside storage. That looks better, because when we're stamping and improving a plan, that makes it easy for us. We don't have to sit here and listen and then go back to the tapes and say, well, he said no outside storage. No, it's on the plan, and it just meets. So there's all these little details that they'll help you with, get that stuff. And we can make this easy process. If nothing, do you want me to make a
I should
motion?
ask Ms. Sarah, if the applicant's coming back September 6th, will you have enough time in that process to review the site plan, or should we postpone it to October?
Yeah, we would need it probably, so packets go out a week before, so the 31st, so we'd want it a few days before then to review it. So August.
But they have to have time to sit down with you and go through what's required before they can do something.
By the 17th at the latest, gives them about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
You think we
can
can
probably
make
get
it?
them.
The timeframe?
Well, why don't we leave it open-ended and say if we have to go another month after that? There's no hurry on our end.
No.
It's theirs. They want to get their business
No, I
going.
agree with you.
So if they need to go faster, that's going to be up to them, not us.
And if you can't make the September 6th meeting, let us know, and we will delay it to October. Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to postpone.
I'll make a motion
Go ahead.
to postpone until we've gotten a site plan that we can stamp approved and go with, and at that time, we can include any other comments in that, from that. So if we can, how do we want to do this? To a time certain of, like if we do it till next month's meeting,
The attorney's saying a date.
yeah.
I would recommend the motion to postpone to the September 6th meeting. And the chair is correct. If they aren't ready at that time, we can always postpone it to the October meeting.
Next meeting.
Yes.
Okay. Taking that down to postpone it till September 6th, Planning Commission meeting here.
And support, please.
Support.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It's been moved by Commissioner Warnick and support by Commissioner Farina to postpone the special land use 23-01, 31,000 gross spec to the September 6th meeting. Would you do a roll call, please, Ms. Warren?
Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Chair Zarnicki,
Yes.
Commissioner Farina,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer,
Yes.
Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Commissioner Warnick.
Yes.
Motion carries. We'll see you next month, hopefully. Good luck. If you have any questions, call the administration. Okay? Agenda item 6B, site plan and other review, are none. Agenda 7, unfinished business, site plan 23-02, 31401 Groesbeck Highway, Popeyes, site plan amendment. Ms. Sierra, report, please.
I'm actually going to be giving the report.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so what we have in front of you, Popeyes is located at 31401 Groesbeck Highway. They are looking to do some renovations to their site. This is currently zoned in the IC district. It used to be zoned in the commercial general district, so it's currently a non-conforming use of the land, which prevents the enlargement of their building, which they are proposing to do. And then they are not looking to expand their parking in any way, so they do have one less parking spot than what is needed, but they are not looking to propose, so the exact same amount is fine. They're not looking, they are proposing to do a new menu board, but we haven't seen those plans yet. Those can be administratively reviewed. The fencing on the site was previously approved, although it was advised further screening. But it is, currently, they have a 4-foot, and the ordinance calls for 6 feet. But it is a previously approved fence, can be discussed if that should be changed. No lighting plan was submitted. I don't think that they are changing any lightings. At this time, we are looking to either table the application or they can change their class non-conforming from a Class A to a Class A. Yeah. Okay. And then the city attorney has found that they can grant them to change the non-conforming so they can do that structure change on the site, which she can discuss that process.
So it's written in the zoning ordinance, it's sections, let's see. 32-203 describes the procedure for obtaining a Class A designation. Essentially, all nonconformities under the ordinance are designated a Class B designation, which means that you can't enlarge a nonconforming use. An applicant can submit an application that would then be reviewed by the Planning Commission to change that designation to a Class A use, which would allow the expansion of that nonconformity with the Planning Commission's approval, and as long as the Planning Commission can provide conditions to that approval of that nature. I don't know if any of Mr. Andrews informed me, this has been done a few times in the past.
Very few, yeah.
Yes, very few times. It is an option tonight to discuss with the applicant if that's something they wish to do. Otherwise, the Planning Commission, as it's stated in the ordinance, cannot approve an enlargement of the nonconformity as it stands right now.
Okay.
So just throwing that out there, that they would have to submit, it's an application back to city administration to apply to change the class of the site.
Has anyone spoken to the applicant about this,
This was
aspect?
brought up
Recently,
right?
Yes, this was just, it's been done so few times that this was just discovered by my office about very recently,
Okay.
prior to the meeting.
So the applicant did not know that, that he couldn't expand out?
They did get a copy of the report. I did
Okay.
send that last month.
Right, okay, all right, okay. So what's the difference between Class A and Class B?
So Class B is it's kind of the default for all legally non-conforming uses. The zoning ordinance prohibits any Class B non-conforming use from being expanded. There are standards that the Planning Commission would have to find in order to change the classification to a Class A non-conforming use. But if those standards are found under a Class A designation, the non-conformity can be expanded.
Okay. So is this a two-step process? If the applicant chooses to go for Class A, does it come in front of the Planning Commission one time and next time the site plan?
It's a one-step process. It would all be done at the same time, yes.
Can I clarify at least?
I have a question
Commissioner Farina?
for the attorney. What are the requirements that they would, they're sitting there saying,
I was
What are the
gonna,
requirements?
that's what I was gonna read. If you want, I can read it for you, 'cause
Go
I
ahead.
got it right
Commissioner
here.
Warren.
Okay, Planning Commission shall have the sole authority to designate a nonconforming use as a Class A nonconforming use upon finding that, one, continuance thereof would not be contrary to the public health, safety, or welfare, or the spirit and intent of this chapter. Two, the use does not and is not likely to significantly depress the value of nearby properties. Three, the use was lawful at the time of its inception. And four, no useful purpose would be served by strict application of the provisions or requirements of this chapter with which the use does not conform. So I wanted to make sure you heard those.
Yes, it sounds like the procedure for variance. Almost identical.
Similar, yes.
We're saying this is a lot easier. Thank you.
Okay, so if the applicant chooses to change to Class A, do all the site plan requirements come into play? As opposed, I mean, because your report saying, the planning report saying non-conforming, so we can give them, the 17 parking spaces and the 29.7-foot, ingress portion that doesn't meet site plan. So if they've changed the class, do they have to meet actual site plan requirements?
So it wouldn't change, it wouldn't be, no. So, and then that's the difference between, say, if the applicant were to go before the ZBA and apply for a use variance. That would be, I think, what you're thinking of. But this would just allow the expansion of the nonconformity.
Okay, I got it, thank you.
So the expansion of the building that they're proposing, this would allow that.
Everything else can stay,
Yes, because it's otherwise legally nonconforming.
okay, thank you, that explains it to me, thank you. Okay, I have Commissioner Warren.
Yeah, so really, the procedure to obtain a Class A designation is the publishing of a notice of public hearing. So it's the same process where we've got to notice everybody within 300 feet and go through the publishing in the newspaper and then go to the meeting for a public hearing. So that's still a process that you got to give yourself time for.
That is correct.
Okay, any other questions of the administration? Discussion? Applicant, sirs, Identify yourselves and tell us how you're related to the property.
Good evening. My name is Phil Ruggieri. I'm one of the owners of the property, and I'm also the legal counsel for our real estate division. We acquired this site about 3 years ago, along with the site in Waterford, which is the common owner. And we are now undertaking the task of renovating the site. It's in dire need of an upgrade. And we have some Class A buildings in all our sites. We have currently 5. And we are building 2 new ones in Lapeer and in Clinton Township for a total of 7. And we've met with the headquarters of Miami. They flew out to our area, looked at all our sites, and they wanted us to upgrade this particular site. And we had planned that from the beginning. Once we took over this site in Waterford, we increased the sales twice what they were. The operators were kind of a mom and pop style. We're more equipped, high-tech. We have a much more efficient system. We also have 13 Burger Kings. So we have a pretty large operation that goes on. And we're owner-occupiers of all our properties. We're the operators, and then we lease to ourselves as the owners.
Okay, thank you.
And likewise, this site is designed same way. We own it under one LLC, and the operators lease it from us. And we're all the same owners. I was very pleased to hear what Haley mentioned today about this Class A designation that we can pursue, because reading all the planning notes and comments, it looked like we needed to get a variance to overcome the extension. The only reason we have this extension problem is this property was legally zoned a commercial property when it was built in 2004 by the prior owner. You now have a zoning classification that took place between 2004 and now called industrial, it's IC, I believe, which is an industrial designation, and it caused us to be non-conforming because of that. But we had a plan that did not require an expansion because we had a drive-through window on the north side and one on the south side. Because of the comments and by the way, this is Tim Morgan from the technical group. He's our architect. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you right away.
It's okay. Yeah, associate architect with technical group. I've been the one working on these plans for like the last 2 or 3 months, I think. So.
Okay, thank you, sir.
We had a very nice plan designed, but we looked at it for efficiency, economics, and health and safety of all the patrons that come to our site, because this is a rare Popeyes. This does not have a dining facility involved, so it's 100% drive-through. And you have 2 major thoroughfares that are involved. You have Groesbeck, and then you've got Garfield. Is it Garfield or Utica? Utica, I'm sorry.
Utica.
So they can come in from both directions. So with the new plan, we are needing office space. We've eliminated the south end window. So instead of having 2 windows, we were stuck with only 1 window. And the problem with that, on the north, you have the stacking issue. People coming in, you only got 1 window. So they're putting their order in, they're going to pay for it there, and they're waiting there. That's not safe. And we stress safety because of stacking and, the public it's at large. So what Tim had proposed and our team, and what's the state of the art today, we generally have 2 drive-through corridors at all our sites. This is not condoning that particular style, but we're going to create only 2 windows like we had originally, but put them on the same side.
Okay.
And the theory behind it is the first window, you place your order, you go through the menu board, place your order, the first window you pay. Then you move up to the next window, pick up your order. And that moves the stacking tremendously. And then if you want to go on to Groesbeck, you go around the building, there's no more window there. They can go back onto Groesbeck, or they go straight ahead, and they can go onto Utica. So that was the reason behind it. So by doing that, we obviously need to extend the building because it needs 7 feet and about 200 square feet, I believe it is. So from 1,700 plus to 1,900 square feet. Our typical buildings are 2,600 to 2,700 square feet. So we saw that. We thought it's best to redesign the plan, which is much better and safer, but we'd have to seek a variance. But I do like the fact that we have this option with a Class A designation, and I've been listening to all of you, and you're very astute, you understand business, and I think that is an excellent process to go through.
You would be receptive to?
Yes, I will apply for I was going to apply for a variance. I was going to ask if you would approve our site plan and subject to getting a variance, but if you could go through the process, approve it, and say, subject to you upgrading it to Class A, we can at least get through this site. I'll apply right away with Tim this week, and we'll be ready to come back at your next meeting, I believe is September 6th, and then we can address the Class A designation upgrade for the reasons I've already stated. So
Okay, thank you.
if that makes sense.
Sounds like a great plan. An easier plan than going, to another board and getting variances.
Yeah, I'd rather stay right here.
Okay. Okay. Question for the administration, whoever wants to answer. Is that time frame conducive to getting everything done, September?
We still have time to get notices out.
The notice even for the,
When do they have to
Yes.
give you data?
The deadline for that would be the 10th, August 10th.
of August 10, they'd have to have
Application, all the materials in order for.
for
me to
the
have a public
change,
hearing,
for the
yes.
class. Can you do that?
Which we can.
We'll do it right away.
Yeah.
You'll have it before the 10th, and then we can set it all up for the 6th for the planning commission.
Okay.
Okay. And Commissioner Warnick?
Yeah, just, I can give you a little background on the whole thing. I was the building official when this was done, and I worked through the whole process with the former owners, and they did just have the Waterford and this one since then. It wasn't 2004, it had to be after 2006, because that's when I
Going by the
took
notes I
over,
saw in
yeah.
here, but
Because I worked on this completely with me as the only one in the department. Before there were two, before 2006. So I know it was after 2006. But I always wonder why the two drive-through thing, it kind of threw me, because throughout all these years, I don't think they ever used the other one. I think it's always remained closed.
very inefficient.
Yeah, it didn't make sense. And now when you see all these Burger Kings and even McDonald's and all of them having a two-step process of paying, and then you got time for some people to back up a little to get their food and stuff. But it always was, if I remember, did they have a walk-up? So you could park, because there were parking spots. I thought
in
you
the
could
back.
park up to or go up into a lobby area. It's not like the Popeyes are that,
Yeah,
is that what this one's going to end up being, is having a dining area?
No,
Not at all. So
no
it's going
dining.
to
room. There's
remain
not
this.
enough room.
Yeah, because there is no room to do that.
We don't want
That's what I was
to,
wondering.
we think it's run very well with a drive-through only. It's a unique building, and you've got those major thoroughfares on both sides, so there's a lot of traffic that services it.
Working with this site, that's probably the best thing. you
Yeah,
can-
it's
So the parking is really employees. That's about it.
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's,
so,
no, there was a little bit of a pickup area, but I don't know if that's going to be there at all. We just want to do some major cosmetic surgery here.
That happens
Our
over
plan
time.
is pretty detailed. We're going to bring it to the state-of-the-art of Popeyes. We have a lighting package, a landscaping package. The whole facade's going to be different. It's going to be a nice upgrade for the city of
do
Fraser.
they have to approve you, manage the corporate? You have to go through everything with them?
Yes,
For these sites, that's the first step, is we get our elevation, site plans, and things of that nature sent to Popeyes HQ first, and then they approve it prior.
And this has been approved.
Oh, okay.
We're ready to go.
We could keep this moving, so hopefully then, we can get it for the next meeting too, and
And we're set, we're funded. It's about $500,000 we're going to pump in here, and we're ready to go. We want to do it before the weather gets crazy.
Thumbs up on the landscaping improvement, too. That's a big jump in landscaping.
Yeah, we're trying to fit it in anywhere we can. We like landscaping, we really do. We like it to be nice and open, but colorful.
would you, at the time coming back, have anything with that signage? Because the signage, we're just going to leave it up like Alicia talked about in the review, that it'll be reviewed by the building department and them, so, and that's okay, but I was wondering if you do and you're close to it, we can look at it and give it an approval.
Sorry, If it was just the menu board, correct? Yeah, I already have the details for those finished up. I guess they weren't attached on the.
So I would say attach it to our
Yeah.
packet.
I have that as well as the
Photometric?
the photometric
Okay.
lighting plan too. So that would all be together.
I think there's a couple, the screening, need a little bit,
Yeah, it was stated that, let me get to that point. In the IC district, it requires a screening wall of 4 to 6 feet. They currently have different types of fencing around the property. There's not much with all the other neighboring businesses. So Andrew did this review. I thought I did go to the property and see. I don't see any improvements that needs to be done, so.
I drove through it today for my very first time. I apologize, I'm not a fast food person. So I drove through it and I didn't pay any attention to the screening,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
there is screening. It's
There
just
is.
the requirement wants it taller, but
Did you get a sandwich?
No, I did not. No,
That's
I
where she
did not.
missed out then.
I should try it, though, I guess.
You have to try it.
Everybody says it's good. Commissioner Farina.
I think I'd like to make a motion to postpone SP 23-02 to our September 6th meeting to allow the applicant to apply for a Class A variance for the property in question.
And do I have support?
I'll support that.
I'm going to let Commissioner Meyer support.
Oh, yes, please, please.
It's been moved by Commissioner Farina and support by Commissioner Meyer to postpone special use 23-02, 31401 Groesbeck Highway Popeyes to the September 6th meeting. Is there any discussion on the motion? Okay, if not, a roll call, please, Ms. Warren.
yeah, Commissioner Barr,
Yes.
Chair Zarnicki,
Yes.
Commissioner Farina,
Yes.
Commissioner Meyer, Commissioner Perry,
Yes.
Commissioner Warnick.
Yes.
And I apologize, I did not open the floor for public comment. Was there anybody in the audience who wanted to speak about Popeyes? No, okay, please acknowledge that in the minutes, Ms. Warren. Thank you for showing, we'll see you next month.
Okay, thank you all very
you.
much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
We'll go to agenda item, agenda item 7, unfinished business. B is action items. Number 1, 16775 13 Mile Road Development. Who is going to,
I will speak
Ms. Warren,
on those.
okay.
Let me just open up my notes here. I had a couple different things from last meeting, questions that I researched and looked up. First was the one from Commissioner Meyer, the 16775 13 Mile Road Development. You asked about the status of it. So I did look, they have permits open for the interior remodel, concrete work, plumbing, and electrical. Those have all been issued. There is expiration of those permits coming up in October and November. There was no requirement of the parking agreements. We went back to the meeting minutes. I think you mentioned that some parking agreements. The applicant was required to find tenants who satisfied the parking within that. Nothing has been applied for at this moment, and there's no certificate of occupancy processed yet. So hopefully that.
I do believe that we asked the applicant to, I think it was his brother who owned the Buscemi's or some relation. And yeah, but I don't think we had a requirement. Right, Commissioner Freeman, right, okay.
Okay.
Any questions on that, Ms. Meyer? Okay, go ahead, Ms. Warren.
Then the next one was 34625 Utica Road, that is that open hole that Mr. Farina, I believe, asked about. Bob Logan, the building manager, did call the office, that is the development company that bought that property or is doing that work there. He left a message originally on July 21st. There is a pending open enforcement on it. No building plans have been submitted yet, so we don't know what is going there. Mr. Logan did issue a ticket on July 26th with a follow-up scheduled for August 31st. So as of right now, that's the status currently.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on that item? No?
You have one more thing, sorry.
Go ahead, please.
The Dairy Queen property.
Yes.
I know I didn't have it on here, but I wanted to give an update on that. I did speak with the city attorney, and a motion does not need to be made to remove him, so we'll just withdraw him administratively.
Okay, that was going to be my question, because I noticed on the planning report that the applicant is withdrawing.
Yes.
So we don't need to
You don't have to make a motion on it.
Okay, cool.
It'll just be withdrawn.
Thank you, Ms. Warren. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Agenda item 8 is public communication on 9 agenda items. There are none. Agenda number 9 is the monthly report, July 2023. Is that your report, Ms. Warren? The planning report?
The monthly report, that's just the one, I mean, we can go through it. I can do a rundown if you'd like.
Okay, go ahead.
We kind of did one at the last ZBA meeting. Or if you have any questions on specific open items. Everything that is highlighted, I don't know if you got a color copy.
No, but you can kind of tell that it's
Okay.
highlighted. But
So those are the updates from when you last saw this.
Right.
So if you have any questions, I can answer them.
So no movement on the hockey land, though. Right. They're coming up. With their
I can,
September meeting, September approval date? Am I reading that correct, Commissioner Farina? Hockey land? Do they have to have everything to us by September?
I thought they had to have everything, or the city was going to issue a cease and desist.
Oh, okay.
Work-
That
work.
part I don't know, okay.
You want to do an update on that, Galen?
so the applicant did supply one parking agreement that Mr. Andrews reviewed. It is the agreement with Fraser Public Schools. And I apologize because Mr. Andrews did write a letter to the applicant because there were some deficiencies, and he did intend to copy the planning commission. I think that Cindy maybe just, and it went out yesterday, so she might not have gotten to it, but I will make sure that that gets forwarded to the planning commission.
Anytime's good, good.
So he did, Mr. Andrews did provide a letter explaining the deficiencies in that agreement. The applicant did also provide easement agreements, which, were not a requirement of the planning commission. But that is the update I have as of now. I know Mr. Andrews has communicated with city administration that the requirements have not been met yet.
Okay. All right. Any questions on any of the planning report? Agenda item 10, ZBA meeting, Commissioner Farina.
Yes, the ZBA will be meeting tomorrow night. And we have one item to look at, and that is a variance for a lot on Anita. They want a variance on their setback in their back lot, and that'll be discussed, and we went out and visited the property to look at it. And it'll be discussed at the meeting tomorrow night and a decision made. At the last ZBA meeting, the same people came asking for a variance, and the property was locked up and we could not get in, so we postponed any action on it. Now we've seen it, so we'll be taking action. I also briefed the ZBA on the sign ordinance briefing that we got, and they're very much interested in having a briefing, probably on a periodic basis, and they would like to be part of that process since they have to deal with the outcome of the signs and may offer some different insight. That is about the nature of our whole meeting.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Farina. Any questions for Mr. Farina? Okay, we will go to agenda item number 11, Commissioner comments and items of interest and concern. Commissioner Barr?
Nothing at this time.
And Commissioner Warnick?
No, nothing at this time.
Commissioner Farina? Commissioner Perry?
Nothing at this time.
Commissioner Meyer? No. Ms. Warren?
No comment, thank you.
Okay, Ms. Sayre?
Nothing at this time.
Okay, and Ms. Tomish, I think I'm pronouncing, is it Tomish or Tomish?
It's Tomich,
Tomish, I apologize.
and I have nothing at this time.
Okay, thank you. What do I have? Very little. I think we've answered everything. I just want to make sure that everybody has received the email from Mr. Denault about how we're going to address the sign ordinance. So that'll be on our next meeting also. So September, we have 2 postponed items plus a sign ordinance. Was Mr. Denault's, it doesn't appear that Mr. Denault's communication was sent to the ZBA. Can we forward that to the ZBA so they know when we're discussing it here at Planning Commission?
He sent a separate email directly to the ZBA members.
So they know.
Yes, they are aware.
Of action here.
Yes.
All right. And they're welcome to come and listen to our meeting, too. Okay. I think that's it, except welcome, Ms. Sarah. Be free to, ask us of any questions or anything that how I can assist you, and I'm sure you and I will be talking here and there, too. Ms. Warren, is this the last time we see you, I assume?
Probably.
We wish you the very best.
Thank you.
So keep in touch and let us know.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, and any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Ms.
I entertain a motion to adjourn.
And support.
Support.
All right, it's been moved by Commissioner Meyer and support by Commissioner Farina to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting's adjourned at 8:05 PM.
Good job.
We did good.
Yes, you did.